Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Katarina. I am so excited about today's video. This is the third update for my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan, and we are going to be rolling out 3 shades, so by the end of this video we should have a completely new sort of color story, at least I hope so. So yeah, Pan Those Eyeshadows is a project where you're trying to hit pan on eyeshadows, or you would have a usage goal or another goal. You can decide the goal. And this project is created by Alexi, so I will link her channel down below. Oh, and before talking about the eyeshadows, I will just show you the color story that I have been working with during the past month. And for me, the goal with the eyeshadows is either to hit pan or use the eyeshadow for 15 times. I can decide it myself. So I always want to work on one shade from my Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, since this is my oldest palette and I have not yet hit pan on all of the shades. And the shade that I have had in this project is Black Forest Truffle. With this one I just wanted to go for the usage goal of 15 uses, and I have now used it 15 times in this project. So I used it 5 times during the past month, and the total uses in this project right now are 15. So this shade will be rolling out. I'm really happy about that because it's not my favorite shade from the palette, and this has been in this project since the intro that I filmed in July. I hope I will roll in something new, because the eyeshadows that I don't hit pan on but I reached the uses goal of 15 uses will still be eligible eyeshadows until there is pan, so hopefully we get something else to replace that. Okay, next is another shade that has been in this project since the intro, and I finally did hit pan on this shade. So I am talking about the peach shade from the Seattle London Olivia Palermo eyeshadow palette. I actually hit pan on this eyeshadow a couple of days ago, and I used it 15 times during the past month, and in total in this project I used it 42 times, and it took 42 times for me to hit pan on this. These eyeshadows are really deep, so I was expecting it to take it a while to hit pan on this, but I'm really happy to be rolling this one out. I really enjoyed this shade in this project, and it's something that goes so well with the shades from my Pan That palette. But you know, it has been in for 3 months, so it's time to get something else to work on. I also do have another shade in this project from this palette, and it is the green shade in here. So this one I rolled in the last update, and with this one I'm just going for the usage goal of 15 uses, and I used it 3 times during the past month, so not the best. However, I just wish that I reached the 15 uses before filming the finale in December. But yeah, it was fun to play with this eyeshadow. I'm going to show you a little bit later one look where I'm wearing this, but I also wore it once as an eyeliner, and I think that worked great. I don't have a picture of that look because it was like a really everyday look, but I think I want to try to create like a bolder winged eyeliner with this eyeshadow, and also I think this is something that I want to try to wear as a nail polish. So really excited. I think it is a great shade to be working on during fall. And then I also did hit one bonus pan this past month, and it is the middle shade in here, so a light matte cream color. This pan is actually a little bit weird. The shade had started crumbling from the bottom of the pan, and one day, it was actually the same day that I hit pan on the peach, so a couple of days ago, when I was going to set my eyeshadow primer using this matte cream color, all of a sudden the shade crumbled a little bit and there was pan. So, you know, it wasn't hitting pan kind of like the normal way, but it is still pan, so I'm going to take it, and I'm happy to have hit a couple of new pans this past month. Next is a shade that has been in this project for 2 months, and it's living in my Build Your Own palette, so the magnetic Tarte palette. The shade that I have been working on is this yellow, and I have decided to declutter it. I hinted it in my Pan That palette update that I am not loving this shade at all, and today I decided to give it the one last go. I don't like this shade. I don't like the way it performs. The color is not my favorite either. I used it total 6 times during the past month, for 9 times in total in this project, and I don't want to force myself to use it another 6 times to have the 15 uses up. I know I don't like this eyeshadow. So first of all, this is that kind of formula that I really dislike in eyeshadows, especially in lighter eyeshadows like this. So this is a matte with some glitter infused in it, and I just don't like it. Also, I don't think this performs well. If I set my eyeshadow primer when I'm going to use this eyeshadow, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't really even appear on my eyes. Well, if I don't set my eyeshadow primer, I can make it work better, but I still feel it sort of skips. And it's not the most blendable shade. I don't know, maybe it is a user error, maybe I don't know how to use it, but on the other hand, I don't care to, you know, try to figure out ways to use eyeshadows that I don't even like that much, when there are so many great eyeshadows in my collection that I would way rather use. So I have just decided to declutter it. There's nothing that it really gives to my collection. I got it this past summer because I was lacking some mustards from my collection. However, at the same time I got this shade over here. This is the shade Caramel from Nabla, and it is a little bit darker mustard, and it's all matte, and it's, for me personally, it's like a true mustard where it does have more brown. I think the Inglot shade is maybe just a little bit too yellow for what I wanted it to be. So I way prefer the Nabla shade, and I think that I can do the same things with the Nabla shade that I would do with the yellow shade. Today I'm actually wearing both of these shades. I'm just going to show you the look right now that I'm talking about it. So what I did today is that I didn't set my eyeshadow primer, and I started the look by packing the Nabla shade all over my lid. And then I went in with this brown over here, little bit to the outer corner of my eyes, and then I tried to blend the thing both using the Nabla shade and then finally using the Inglot shade. And you know, I really do enjoy this look. I think it's one of my favorite looks, if not the favorite I have done so far this fall. Probably because it's not orange red, and if you have been watching my Pan That palette series, you know what I'm talking about. I'm starting to be so sick of orange looks. But anyways, I absolutely love this look. But you know, I think I could achieve this look using just the Nabla shade and the matte brown. I think this shade is kinda unnecessary, and it's maybe even making the look a little bit more yellow, what I would prefer. And I don't think you can see it on camera. However, I can see it when I look at my makeup in real life, that there's actually shimmer, and the Inglot shade brought that. I really wanted the look to be all matte, and yeah, I don't like the Inglot shade, so I'm not bothering using it anymore, and I have decided to declutter it. And now that that shade is rolling out of this project, I also need to redo my Build Your Own palette. It has been about 2 months since I did this kind of like end of summer, beginning of fall color story, so I want to switch it for completely fall and a little bit of holiday color story, but I wanted to film this update first. And then last but not least is another shade that we rolled in the last update. So the shade comes from my Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette, and I randomized in the shade, what is this called? Samael. So it is this brown over here. It is in the neutral section of the palette. However, I actually think for a brown it is pretty cool toned. I used it 5 times in total during the past month. I would like to hit pan on this eyeshadow because this formula is not difficult to hit pan on. It's really powdery and soft, and you know, it's also a really wearable shade. and also these pans are super shallow, but I think it's going to take until the finale. Alright, so those were all of the eyeshadows that I have been working on during the past month in this project, and I'm so excited to be able to roll 3 out. However, before selecting the new shades, let's quickly talk about some looks. So I already showed you a closer look to the look that I'm wearing today, and I do have the Inglot shade in this look. There is another look I want to show to you. Usually in my Pan Those Eyeshadows videos I do have more looks to show, but a lot of the colors have been the same for a while and I have been creating really similar looks and I don't want the looks to be too repetitive. So this next look is actually kind of like a brand new look. So in this look, I'm actually wearing both of the shades from my Pan That palette, so Red Ochre and Real Ochre, and then I am wearing the Peachy eyeshadow from the Sjösten palette on the inner half of my lid, and on the outer half of my lid I'm actually wearing the green. This look I was wearing in my Team Project Pan update for September and I loved this look. You know, I have been creating these orangey red peachy looks a lot and the green totally made the look something completely different. I really do enjoy this look, and yeah, I do want to find another ways to wear the green too. But that was really the only look I wanted to show to you, plus the look that I'm wearing today. So let's next get into one of my personal favorite parts in the video, if not the favorite, so talking about my numbers. So let's first talk about my pan percentage. So I did hit 2 pans during the past month. So right now I do have 21 eyeshadows with pan showing in my collection. And in total I do have 174 eyeshadows. And from my eyeshadow inventory I already removed the Inglot shade, although I still have it. I didn't want to count it anymore towards my collection. So 174 eyeshadows, 21 of those has pan showing, so that makes my pan percentage 12.07. Last month my pan percentage was 10.86. So a nice increase there, and I hope I could get this a little bit higher still this year. I doubt I can get quite into 15 because I will be using some shades up, and when I do they won't anymore count towards my pan percentage, but I'm really happy to be well over 10. Then my empty pan percentage changed really slightly just because I decided to declutter the Inglot shade, but during the past month I wasn't able to finish any new eyeshadows. I have now 19 eyeshadows in my collection that I have finished, and I do have in total 193 pans of eyeshadows in my collection, so whether the pans are empty or whether there is product. And that makes my empty pan percentage 9.84. This one I am sure I will get over 10 by the end of this year, because I will finish the 2 shades from my Modern Renaissance, and also I will finish one single eyeshadow that I like to use as transition shade with my Modern Renaissance shades. So yeah, those were my numbers, and next we can get into everybody's favorite part, so selecting the new eyeshadows into this project. Okay, so first I want to show you the 2 shades that will be remaining in this project. So this is the KVD Samile and this is the green from the Sjösten palette. They go so well together, so I hope we get kind of like a cohesive color story. So let's very first pick the eyeshadow from the Chocolate Bar palette. So I have hit pan on 5 out of the 16 shades, so that means there are 11 eligible eyeshadows in this palette, so I am going to put numbers from 1 through 11 to my Pretty Random app. Oh, by the way, I do have a rule that if I get something that I don't want to work on for one reason or another, or if I get something that is too similar for something that I'm working on either in this project or in my Pan That palette, I don't need to work on it. With Black Forest Truffle, the only reason I don't want to work on it is because I just worked on it. If I'm going to get it, I'm just going to go with it, but I hope we get something else. Number 5. Oh, we get something else than Black Forest Truffle. So let's... oh my gosh. No, you're kidding me. Well, this shade I at least do not want to be working on. So number 5. 1, 2, 3. Then I have Pan on all of the mats here. 4, 5. Candied Violet. My absolutely least favorite shade in this palette. No, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I need to think about how well this actually goes with the shades that I am working on in my Pan That palette. I'm working on really warm shades, and this is a cool toned purple. I don't want to deal with this eyeshadow right now. This is something I'm planning on focusing anyways in the beginning of next year, because I think it's kind of like a wintry shade, but I'm not going to work on this shade. This is like the only shade that I really do not want right now, so let's re-roll. Number 4. Okay, Strawberry Bonbon. You know, this is not necessarily my favorite shade to work on this time of year either. However, I think it's something that I can make work with my Pan That palette shades, so I'm going to go with it. I'm going to swatch the shade up here because I always want to talk first about the shade that I am working on in the Too Faced Chocolate Bar. You cannot really even see it because it's, you know, it's pretty close to my skin tone, just more pink. But yeah, it's something that is easy to use. I don't think I could hit Pan on this eyeshadow this year, but I think I can get quite close, and then I think I will be able to hit Pan on this somewhere in the beginning of next year. Okay, then we are going to roll in 2 eyeshadows from my entire eyeshadow collection. So at the moment I do have 153 eyeshadows without Pan. So we are going to randomize from 1 through 153. So yes, I'm so excited. Let's see what we get. Number 108. Oh, okay, so we got another shade from the KVD Shade and Light Eye Contour palette. This is the shade Citry. I don't know how you should pronounce that, but I really do like the idea of working on more than just one shade from one palette. I know some people want to have like all different palettes, but for me this works better because I don't necessarily like to open 5 different palettes to create a look. So let me check out what the shade Citry is. It is the middle small shade in the warm section. So it is a deeper matte brown. A really useful shade for sure, great for deepening out looks, and for example today I am wearing similar sort of shade to this just from my Build Your Own palette. So yeah, this I actually think I probably can hit Pan on because this kind of shades I use with a little bit smaller blending brush. So I'm excited, and I think this shade, at least it looks to be pretty neutral. So this actually looks something that could go very well with both warm and cool looks. So here it is, a great shade to be working on. Let's roll in one more shade. Number 56. So this eyeshadow is from a brand Floss. It is their eyeshadow single in the shade Tokyo, and this is a newer shade in my collection. I got this from my The Big Box Advent calendar last year, and you know, it's a pretty shade, but guess what? It is a light shimmery peach, so it's basically the same thing than what we just rolled out. However, I'm just going to go with it since I know this shade is something that works so well with my panning looks. So let me pick up my Build Your Own palette because this shade is at the moment living in the palette. So over here, this shade Tokyo from Floss is this one. This eyeshadow actually came in a single compact, but I don't like that kind of singles, so I decided to depot it. This is a really large pan, so there is absolutely no way that I am going to be able to hit pan on this year. However, as I said, it's a really useful shade with my Pan That palette. So I'm just going to go with it, and I hope I could use it 15 times before the finale. Let me show you the color story that I am working on. I'm still going to take out, when it's still a little bit brighter, a better picture, but here is just like, you know, what we are working with right now. It's really interesting. So there are the browns and the green that are a little bit more on the crunchy side, but then there's the light pink and the light peach to throw it off a little bit and bring some softness to it. So I actually think it's pretty fun. But yeah, this is the color story I will be working on. Let's think about some goals for the next update. You know, I actually don't think I realistically could hit any new pans by the next update unless I somehow manage to hit pan on the deeper brown, but I don't think so. So most likely next update is going to be the first one where we are not going to be rolling in anything new, but I am really happy to have a new color story to work on for the rest of this year, and by the finale I at least do want to see pan on the browns from the KVD palette, and then I would like to get the 15 uses up with everything else. And I think with the strawberry bonbon shade I will get really close to pan so that it's easy shade to hit pan on next year. So yeah, that's everything for today and for my Pan Those Eyeshadows update. Thank you so much for watching this video, and see you in my next one. Bye bye.